CS2, first major, best skins. Are you ready to pick 'em? SkinClub starts a new season of predictions for the major in Copenhagen. Are you good at CS? Prove it and become the best making the most accurate prediction and win a Dragon Lore. Be a part of cybersport and watch the major with SkinClub.
All right, guys, it's that time of the year when we do pick'ems. This time it's going to be a little bit different. As you can see on your screens, it's just we are doing it on SkinClub platform. It's completely free. It doesn't require you to do any deposits, any kind of crazy stuff. You just need to log in via your Steam account and just get the pick'ems and get possible prizes. Now, the way you do it is pretty simple. Like I said, just log in, make the predictions, accept, and you are in the pool for like different prizes. Basically, for every correct prediction, you get 2 points, and that adds up. And based on the points that you have, you enter different types of tiers of prizes, potential prizes. So for silver tier, you get some of those items. You can get into a pool of and possibility to get some of this. For the gold tier, you need 22 points to participate in that one, and then you get possibly one of those items. For 32 points, you get in the diamond tier. That's like the highest tier, and you can get one of these cool items as well. And then there is a platinum tier, which only has one prize, and that's Dragon Lore. For them, you need maximum amount of points to participate. It's going to be a very small amount of people together, but maybe, maybe I can do it. I don't know. But the thing is, how you do it is pretty simple. It's similar to the CS, pick'ems, the normal pick'ems. You just have like 3, 0, 0, 3, and 7 choices, and then you have 3 stages. 2 second and the third is being unlocked on the March 20th and March 24th, just the day before the stage starts. So overall, pretty simple, pretty easy, and again, it's absolutely free. So you don't need to, deposit anything. There is no requirements. You just have one, and you just have fun, and maybe you win some prizes. And I know a lot of people love this. Majority of people love this. I know I like this, especially in the past. And I haven't been very good at picking some of this, pick'ems. But I'm going to give it a try. Right now, I'm a little bit more involved in the competitive scene than I was before. So it should come a little bit easier for me rather than in the past. So let's start from the start, right? We have 16 teams. We have 8 spots. The first I'm going to go with 0-3 pick, and I think that's going to be Lin Vision. And the way it works, you just drag it and then you just put it in the place. Why am I picking Lin Vision? Because I think they are absolutely the weakest team in this first stage, and I watched all the games in the RMRs, and I do think the Asian RMR was completely mismatched. I think the Mongols are very superior in their region, and I think they're superior in North American region than most of the North American teams. But overall, I think Lin Vision is the team that's weakest here. I didn't see them perform very well on the Asian call, even though they beat Greyhound in the decider game. I still think they are the weakest team, and I don't remember who they have in the first round. But overall, I don't think they should be doing a lot of damage on this one. Just the fact they qualify for the major is a massive thing for them. I just don't think they have the capacity in them to kind of get over this stage or even get any wins against most of these teams. So even if you pick the weakest team in your opinion here, whoever that is, maybe Legacy. And I don't think they have any chance against them at all. So I would put them as 0-3 as it would be like a safe pick. Now, when it comes to 3-0, many of you will probably look into Cloud9 as the team that's going to go 3-0. For me, honestly, I was thinking between 2 teams, that is Eternal Fire and Heroic, because I do think Eternal Fire, for example, is very underrated in the public. Behind the scenes, they have been very well respected. They're a team that is playing very good Counter-Strike. They have 5 Turkish guys. Obviously, the language barrier is not there and non-existing, because they're all speaking the same language and they're all from the same culture. And even in the good and the bad, they kind of, they have that going for them. So for me, and obviously they are riding the confidence wave, which is pretty high right now. And I think they're going to make it 3-0. What's going to happen in the second stage, probably don't know, depending on the teams that make it. But for me, they're a 3-0 team. Now we have to pick the 7 teams that are going to be going through. For me, one of these teams, and the first one is definitely we saw these guys playing blast right now, managing to get to the London and for the spring finals. And I think they played a very solid Counter-Strike. Most of the things, they have a core that's very long time together, and they're playing together for a very long time, and I think it finally pays out. I think they feel really good right now. They're riding this confidence wave. They qualified for London. They played well. They qualified for the major too. I think they are very, very dangerous team to face, especially in a best of one, because they have this kind of explosive play style, and it's very difficult to counter them. And like I said, the capital thing for them is this wave they have right now, and they just enjoy playing Counter-Strike. And we can see that in this events they played. So for me, they're number one pick to go through, definitely, when it comes to the opening stage. So the second team here, I'm gonna go for Cloud9, even though I have a massive problem with them not having an AWPer. And I kind of hope after the major this will change in the off season. They will probably get an AWPer. I hope so, because they have a strong squad. I think they have a decent potential. They're just missing that. I think Boomic is a solid IGL and very impactful IGL, even though, he is not like your classic, Glaive type of IGL. I think he's really dangerous. And we remember how he was in Navi back in the day when they had the era, and, he had the time to kind of understand what was going, through his life and through his, in the crisis period that he had, and now he got a chance. I think he's playing well, and he's leading that team very well, but they do need an AWPer. In the first stage, they won't have any problems. They have a solid map pool. They won't have any problems, I believe, and then, when it comes to the second stage, that's a different kind of beast. But for now, I do think they're going to be qualifying as probably 3-1. They might lose in a best of one, in it's 1-0, and then they get 1-1, and they go 3-1, or they lose even, in a 2-1 game, and they beat somebody they are favored to beat in a 2-1 game. So I see them as a 3-1 team. Now the third spot is it is very difficult to kind of pick, and that's why I'm gonna go with Mongols. Now I think this team is a team that has been showing a lot of promise. I think they are the best team outside of EU right now, maybe together with, let's say, Complexity. And outside of the European region, they're probably the best team. They have the structure. They are playing different Counter-Strike than what we used to see from Asian teams or Oceanic teams, especially after the Renegades 100 Thieves kind of fall apart. And, even though Greyhound and next generation of Renegades played all these events, they were nowhere strong as the Mongols right now. We know they can play a tough, hard game against the strongest oppositions. I think that, all these teams right now, they can deal with them, at least be 50-50 with them. And because of the experience they had in the previous events and beating teams like, Cloud9 and Furia in the best of threes of Katowice and Cologne and whatever events were there. So different IEMs, I can't even remember. I think they have enough experience to kind of get to the second stage here. Because if you look at this opposition right now in which they're facing, if they don't get super bad draw, I think they can get here with a 3-2, 3-1. So I would give them a decent chance to get into the second stage. Like I said, second stage is a different beast, different teams, but against these teams, I think they can make it, definitely. So that they would be the next team. So we have 4 more spots. And we have all these teams. Look at these teams. We have Anka, Legacy, Ecstatic, 9 Pandas. Who do you put there? One of these teams or 2 of these teams, there's going to be surprises here. So it's just a matter of who do you pick at this position. For me, it's very hard. I think Heroic is probably one of the safest options to go there, simply because of caliber of their players. The only thing that worries me is them being burnt out, because they're playing all these events and they also not have enough time to practice to fix their map pool. It can be a little bit surprising in the best of ones against teams like your Mongols or Eternal Fire or whoever, right? So it can be a little bit difficult for them. But overall, I do think they will manage to get into the second stage, simply because, like I said, the caliber of the players they have, the pedigree of the players they had, and the culture they have in the Heroic organization. So overall, I think they're going to be feeling as favorites, which they definitely are, and they're going to get to the second stage. So that kind of fills up 2 and plus 4, that's 6 spots, and we have 3 spots remaining. Actually 5, and we have 3 spots remaining. Now, the thing is, I don't know about Furia. They managed to get through the RMR in America with 3-0, even though they are low quality RMR. I don't know if I can put them in this thing because I don't trust them whatsoever. So if I have to pick a surprise, like a proper surprise, I would probably go for Ecstatic, because we have been practicing against Ecstatic team, and these guys have been really sharp. Even though their map pool is not really the greatest right now, they're playing very good Anubis, for example. I think they are definitely a team that's a very dangerous on a best of one kind of playing field, right? So they managed to get into the major. They had a couple of chances. They lost to Apex in one of the decider games, but they beat Guild Eagles, if I remember correctly, which is a massive win. It's a best of 3, and they beat OG, I think, as well. They lost to, I would say, maybe Mouse. But overall, strong group of kids, right? They are playing really sharp Counter-Strike. Even though it's not the highest level or anything, they are really sharp. They're very confident. They are a very good team. They deserve to be at this major. I think the way they were supposed to be 3-1, but I think they choked it a little bit against Apex here in that decider game on 2-1. But overall, I do believe they should be having enough talent and kind of motivation to be in the second stage. So as a surprise, I'm going to pick them to be in the second stage. Now we come to these two teams. One of these two teams won't make it. I don't know which one. For me, Ants has been doing well. They made quarterfinals or semifinals in the Katowice. They had a pretty decent run. They played well, and I think they are playing right now this close qualifier for Dallas or one of the events, and they had a decent map pool. I think they can play different maps. I think they have the confidence to do it, and they have obviously the IGL, who is very capable guy on the playing, and understands what the pressure is like on the big stages. And I would give them a 50-50 chance to go to the second stage, even though they have obviously their disadvantages and their flaws in the game, but it's nothing too great. They cannot overcome against all these teams here. So I would probably go with Ants here to go. And if it's 50-50, I would rather take them than not take them. Let's put it this way. So we have one slot left. Let's see who was from the teams from right to the left. I don't think Legacy makes it. I think the North American RMR has proved that there is a lot of things to improve in that region when it comes to the gameplay. So I don't think they'll make it. Koi is an interesting team. That's Movistar. I think they had a really kind of situation where it was they sold their IGL, which was kind of their best player. They sold to NIP. And then NIP went 0-3, and then Movistar qualified for the major. I think they're very satisfied with that one. Can they make it to the second stage? I don't think so. I think it's going to be difficult for them. They might get 1 or 2 wins, but to get the third hurdle, I think they're going to fall into that one. So they might go 2-3, so I don't think they're going to make it. Amcal here, that's a very strange team. For example, you have them qualifying over NIP into the RMR, just dominating. They're playing well. IC is playing a super good Counter-Strike. He's a very sharp hopper. He's a very good player, youngster. And they, qualify. They played well, and then a couple of days later, or a week later, they lose to pretty much everyone. They lose to Young Ninjas pretty easily. They got dropped down in the group stage. Maybe it's just they kind of deflated a little bit after the major success or the RMR success. It can be a bad thing because those things happen, but overall, I think they can get a win or 2, but to qualify, probably not. Pain Gaming and Imperial are the teams that are probably not going to make it. Pain is facing Apex in the first round. I think Apex is going to win that. And Imperial is a team that's probably the weakest out of all 5 teams that qualify from the North American region. I don't think they have the capacity. I don't think they have enough players with enough qualities to make it to the second stage. It's a big thing they qualified. It's a big thing for the organization and the players themselves to get the sticker money and qualify. I think they're going to be satisfied with that. And whatever they do right in the first stage, but it's going to stay on the first stage, so I don't think they're going to make it. Now we have 3 teams left, and we have to pick one of those 3 teams. One is Furia. Let's leave them for later. First of all, it's 9 Pandas with Seized and Glowing, and they managed to qualify over Astralis, nonetheless, in a very good game. For me, that's a team that's full of surprises. Right now, they probably feel super happy, super hyped, super motivated. Depending on the matchups, I think they can make it. I do think they can make it depending on the matchups. because they're not going to be scared. If there was a time to be scared, it would be, the RMRs. But they faced in the last chance qualifier, they faced the Charlies. They removed them from the map, like instantly. That's the same as Charlies. They paid $2 million for Stam and Yabi and like Device as well and Blame. And, it's just a very strong team with a very good organization behind them. And they just beat them straight up. So for me, it's about like draw for them, like depending on who they draw against. Maybe if they face a lot of non-European teams, which they didn't play a lot of times, can be problematic for them to kind of get the wins because they haven't played the teams against Brazil or teams, against Asia, teams from Asia. So it's just going to be very difficult for them. So for me, it's a no. The biggest, even though I said one of these teams won't make it, but now when I look at this, for me, the biggest chance for that 8th spot is Apex. Simply because right now they have this like kind of culture. They built it, even though they sold like, JL back in the day, and they sold obviously Kixen to Heroic. Now they still have Nog, they still have Jakim, and Sense is kind of building into this IGL role. Overall, I have Tico who is playing this unselfish or selfless role in the team. So I do think, based on all this like kind of aspects and all the culture of the team and the things they have been doing right now, they have the biggest chance and the biggest odds to get into this second stage. So that's why I'm gonna pick it, even though I'm not really confident about these last 2 picks. But I'm gonna pick it because they're giving like based on the odds and like the all the things that are happening around them and how they play at the current moment, they might be the safest picks for this first stage. So let's do another kind of run through of all these teams. Eternal Fire 3-0, Lean Vision 0-3. For teams to go through are Saw, Cloud9, Mongols, Heroic, Ecstatic, Ants, and Apex. I would say it's a pretty solid pick for the first stage, and I'm really looking forward to actually watching the major, even though I'm not going to be able to play it this time, but it's always fun to watch the majors. So you guys, you make sure to make your predictions, so let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll catch you on the one for the elimination stage and see who got what right. So see you later, guys.